All right, now we are going to move on to TV shows, and again, I'll let you start, Rob.
Okay, so this was actually a pretty crazy year for me because I actually watched a lot of good TV shows. Because I know there was a lot of good TV shows that came out. Obviously, there was the Marvel shows that came out, which were kind of mixed. Some of them were good, some of them were bad. Loki was probably my favorite, and I guess I have to make my least favorite probably be Falcon and the Winter Soldier because I got like 2 episodes in and said, nah, it's not really for me.
Okay.
But the one show there's 2 shows I want to talk about. That being Invincible, which is the Amazon Prime show.
Right.
Let me just say, anything good you've heard about this show is probably true. I really enjoyed this show. Though, to be fair, I do have to give some context behind this. I watched this show, like, 2 days? Actually, no, I think it was only, like, 1 day. No, it was 2 days. It was, like, 2 days after... It was 1 day after I got home from the hospital when I had, like, my face surgery. So, I was in a lot of pain. I was very high. And I turned it on Amazon and I said, oh, a new episode came out today. I'm just going to watch up to whatever the current episode is. Well, it turned out that was the season finale. So I watched the entire show in one sitting while high. And let me just say that when you're watching Invincible get punched in the face and, like, his nose is all broken and he's all covered in blood, and then you're sitting there on the TV with a broken face with blood coming out of your nose, it's a pretty awesome show. You're just like, yeah, that's me. Like, the more Invincible got punched in the face, the happier I got, because I'm like, yeah, he knows what it's like.
Except he wasn't high on whatever you were high on.
That's true, he was not high, so it was probably worse for him. And it wasn't my dad punching me in the face either, so... But, awesome show. It's so weird, like, it's pretty much everything from, like, every superhero thing ever that is just all mixed into one, and then it has, like, Doom Eternal levels of violence, which is, like, weird, because it's not, like, an edgy or dark show, it's just really violent.
That was an Image comic, right?
Yeah, it was an Image comic.
Okay, yeah, I don't know how they were on, like, content like that, but...
I know the comic was bloody, but I don't think it was as bloody as the TV show. So just a couple of things I like is, like, they really balance, you know, like, it feels half like DC, half like Marvel, and then they do stupid things like in one of the episodes a Battle Beast shows up. Who's a Battle Beast? Some freaking toy line from the 80s that no one has ever touched. And they just got the rights to it and threw in a Battle Beast because, you know, like, in old 80s comics, you know, I mean, that's how Transformers and G.I. Joe started, was that Hasbro sold the rights of these toys to Marvel to make comics for them. So, like, they even do, like, little things like that. Like, it is just so much fun.
Alrighty.
And, like, the story is really good, too. Like, it's just all around good.
Yeah. That's one that I wanted to check out, because I have Amazon Prime, but I barely use it for anything. Especially not, like, on the video side of things. But that's one of those I keep saying, oh, I'm going to read the comic first. Just like the same with Watchmen.
I don't think I want to read the comic, because I don't know if the comic is as good as the show. Like,
Oh.
that's what I'm nervous about. Like, I'm afraid I'll read the comic and it'll just be, like, typical comic book stuff, and then it'll spoil everything that's going to happen in the next seasons, which... The Stephen Yeun, I think that's how you pronounce his name, the guy that plays as Invincible, came out and said, yeah, I don't think they've started any production on season 2. So that was like this week. So that sucks. So we're going to have to wait forever to find out what happens next.
Yeah.
But yeah. You should just come over sometime. I'll watch it with you. I'll easily watch that show again.
Okay. Okay.
I'm trying to get Steven to watch it. He won't watch it, though.
Tell him to stop being a tool. Hear that, Steven? Stop being a tool. And leave a like on our dang video, darn you.
Mm-hmm.
Same with you, Greg. Had to get that out of the way. Usually I'm the only one leaving a like on our videos. I just do that
the video
for
gets a bunch
goodwill.
of dislikes. Yo, first of all, so they got rid of dislikes on YouTube, and now a bunch of people keep commenting on my Clone Wars video. I disliked this. Guess what? No one gives a shit, okay?
Is that the only one getting like a bunch of dislikes? Because I figured
It's the only one that's consistently, like, it's actually going up in viewership. Like, it gets more views every time I look at it, so... And, like, the part 2 isn't. It's only part 1, which sucks, because I think part 2 is a better video, but...
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, the cool thing is you can dislike comments, so every time someone comments dislike, I just dislike their comment.
Yeah, it's more of a down vote, I think.
Yeah.
But, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say, oh yeah, like, I remember you still want me to watch Stranger Things, and I still haven't, so yeah, the only way you're gonna get me to watch Invincible is if you sit me down and force me to watch it.
Yeah, fun fact, I bought Connor the special edition Blu-ray of Stranger Things Season 1, and he still hasn't watched it.
Yeah.
That being said,
I'm that guy.
It only costs $5, which is the cheapest I've ever spent on a Blu-ray. I have no idea why it was that cheap.
I think it even has the 4K version in there too.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah. Well, I'll get around to it. Maybe, like, I don't know. I gotta make a list of crap that I want to watch and stuff I want to read. But, I mean, I guess I could prioritize that. Just to be nice. But, okay, so moving on to, like, my stuff. These are 2 separate shows, but I'm gonna kind of talk about them as one, or, like, kind of flow one of them into the other. And one of them I actually started watching probably around, like, 2019, but didn't really finish till 2021, just because of how things worked out. And that first show is Seinfeld. I watched the entirety of Seinfeld over the course of, like, 2 years. 9? But the first season's kind of like a limited, it's like a really small number. It's like probably only like 6 episodes, starting with the pilot. And yeah. It was rough in the beginning. Let's just say that. So yeah, it's a good example of a show that's pretty well liked, but has a bit of a rough start. Like, the pilot is nothing like a show, or like one of the episodes from like the middle of the series or the end or whatever, or even from like season 2 or 3. It took a while to get into its stride. And I think that NBC or whoever sat on it for a bit, but
yeah,
it's a pretty interesting show. I know a lot of people don't really like comedies with like laugh tracks because they think it's kind of cheesy, but I don't know, a lot of these, I think it's still a pretty relatable show like nowadays, and it's still pretty funny. Would I recommend watching the entire series? Probably not. Maybe just look up a list of the best episodes, just kind of go from there, because there isn't much continuity.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot, but you could probably just dive into a random episode and like be fine with just the context within the show. Even though I find it sometimes easier to remember the B plot of a lot of episodes than like the main one, because it's a show about nothing. It's got like a random like dumb topic, as it's like the title of the show, like the big salad, the slicer, the strong box, the old man, stuff like that. And like, I don't know, but I don't know. One of the most like infamous things about the show is how it ended. It had a pretty crappy series finale where they all end up in jail, and it's like this because they get arrested for like this weird Good Samaritan law, and then they bring back like everybody that they've like like either insulted or like caused some like trouble to or whatever over the past 8 or 9 seasons to like testify against them. And it just pretty much makes them all look like a bunch of sociopaths, which I don't know, they kind of are. In their own weird ways. I think Kramer's the least sociopathic. He's just, a wild card, and things just happen. Jerry's Jerry's the straight man. He's like, but he's still got his weird quirks. Like, for some reason, in like season 9, he becomes a really serious like germaphobe. They like make there's like this one episode where he like, it's like based on him like his girlfriend at the time like drops a toilet or a toothbrush into the toilet and then uses it.
Oh,
and he just gets so hung up on that, and then he like breaks up with her. But I don't know. Now on the opposite side of the spectrum is another show which usually gets compared to Seinfeld, but it's much more recent. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The basic synopsis of this, it's like, I'm trying to remember which of them are actual owners of the pub, but it's for like high school friends and their like, well, two of their like stepdad. They think he's supposed to be their biological father, but he's not really. It's complicated. Running a pub in Philadelphia, and it's kind of the same idea as Seinfeld, except a
little more mature.
Oh yeah, it's way more mature. I'm just trying to think about the stride because it's been longer since I watched any episodes from this compared to Seinfeld. They usually like hatch all these different schemes or whatnot. It's usually around like trying to make money or whatnot, and dumb stuff like that. But yeah, it is a way raunchier show than Seinfeld. It has been described as Seinfeld on crack, and that is an accurate descriptor. But yeah, like they all veer more towards the psychopathic end.
Oh yeah,
they're all like narcissistic.
Yeah.
They're always like trying to, like one of the characters, Dennis, is like vaguely hinted at to be a serial killer.
Isn't Charlie illiterate? Like he can't read or something? Like he can't write or something?
He's got like, yeah, he's got a lot of issues. Yeah, he can't read, he can't write. He lives in squalor.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like he inhales things that you should not inhale and like eats random crap. Like he eats cat food. Huffs paint and glue.
Yeah. That's a crazy show.
Yeah, he's the wild card of that group. But yeah. Still really funny. Definitely way more offensive. There are episodes of that show you cannot find on streaming. You'd have to get the DVD if you can find it. It's kind of funny. Kind of funny story about this. So I introduced my parents to this show. Like I had bought the first 2 seasons or the first 3 seasons on DVD. We started watching them together. Then my mom buys the 4th one, and then the 5th one. Then eventually, like I come home like randomly to visit. It's like, oh yeah, I bought all of them because I couldn't find the like season 6 individually, so I just bought like this big group pack on Amazon. It's like, okay, this is normal. And then at some point I find out that they watched them all without me.
Which is like, what, 15 seasons?
It's like 14, yeah, it's still going.
14, yeah.
13 or 14. Yeah, it's still going. It started in like 2008 or 2007, and it is still going. It's crazy, and they've been approved for like another 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got burnt out on it in the middle, but because it kind of gets old, they'll still find ways to shock you and like, offend you, and make you laugh, but like, I don't know. Sometimes it's a little too much. Seinfeld's definitely way easier to get through. But yeah. Seinfeld also has a Lego set, which is pretty cool. I have a Lego Newman, and now my life is complete. Speaking of which,
there you go.
like they never, Speaking of which, they never really explain like the rivalry between him and Jerry. But I think it's because Newman is a member of the USPS, and as an adult, I have fully come to understand that the USPS is just complete garbage. Like it is. They should rename it USPOS. So I've never been disappointed more in a government organization than maybe the IRS, but I don't know. The USPS has a lot more like deals like I interact with them a lot more than I do the IRS, thank goodness, but not also thank goodness at the same time. Newman.
Mm-hmm. All right. The other TV show I want to talk about. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should mention. The TV show that I finally sat down and watched was I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh.
And surprise, surprise, it's actually really good.
How many seasons of that are there? I know they like break them into books or whatever, but I don't know
so
how
it's 3 seasons. I think it's 20 episodes per season.
Oh, dang.
Maybe a little bit more, maybe a bit less. So it's not super long. This is one of those shows that I knew was popular. Well, I knew it was popular now, but because I remember when it was on TV show, like when it was on TV as a kid, and I don't remember anyone like talking about it like ever. So I just always assumed that the show was just garbage. And then like when I was in high school, I started hearing people say all these nice things about it. So I was like, I don't know. I felt weird about it. I thought it might have just been a nostalgia thing, but no, it actually has some really good writing and it has some really good characters. The only real problem with it is that, like, not even all of the first season, but, like, the first couple episodes, maybe, like, the first, like, 6 episodes, they're still trying to find their foot with what they want to do with the show. And because of that, they're harder to get through. Like, obviously it is a kid's show, but as the show gets on, it does get more mature and deal with more mature elements. And, like, the first few episodes, well, one, there's a lot of filler episodes in that arc. Wait, and those, like, in that section, but also it is, like, a lot more, like, cheesy and kiddie. And even the characters aren't as likable. Like, one of the characters in it, Sokka, he's kind of, like, a bit of, like, a buzzkill. And, like, later he kind of evolves into, like, a better character. But it is a little hard to get through. Like, when I was watching it, I was literally just watching it just because my friends were wanting to watch it, because I watched it with them. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll watch this with you. And then, like, during the second season, I think, was when I really got into it. And the second season is really good. Especially, like, there's, like, a strict moment, like, halfway through. And, like, it just pretty much, like, cuts out, like, most of, like, the little kiddie stuff. And it just gets, like, straight, like, serious for, like, the rest of the season. And, like, oh, really good show. Really good show. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to get into spoilers. But it is worth your time, but there is one problem. There's a very, like, there's a plot point that gets set up, like, at the beginning of season 2 involving a character's mother and about that, and she's an important character because she kind of set a lot of the stuff in the show in motion, and they keep, like, teasing towards a build-up where you're going to finally, like, meet this character, and it never happens. Like, the last episode of the show, they're like, all right, time to go find Zuko's mom. And then the show's over, so you never find out. And apparently what happened was there's supposed to be a 4th season, but they decided to cancel it so they could work on the M. Night Shyamalan movie. And we all know how that turned out. Not good. So,
very, very bad.
Yeah, so I think they took most of the ideas from season 4 and released them in comic books. So you can still find out what happens, but it's kind of obnoxious because they could have easily fit that story arc within the 3rd season. The 3rd season has a lot of filler episodes, and you could have, I don't know. It's upsetting that, like, the show just doesn't feel complete with that. So that's my one main gripe with it. And it's still an amazing show, but if I had one complaint is that to get the full story, you do have to buy a comic book. But that's it. That's my review.
Did you watch any of Korra?
So I actually watched the first season of Korra before I watched Avatar because I wanted to like talk about how much Korra was better than Avatar and like just piss off people because that's my personality.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the first season of Korra. Like, it was fun. It was pretty cool. But one, I didn't really know what was going on just because I didn't have any connection to any of the other characters from the previous show. And I was told that Korra gets a lot worse after the first season. Because Avatar is like, it's like 3 seasons and it's just like one large story that overarcs. And Legend of Korra isn't like that, because I think it was only supposed to be one season originally. So, like, it has a starting point and, like, an ending point within the first season. So that's why I didn't watch anymore, because I didn't think I needed to. And from what I've been told, that's the best way to watch it, is just to watch the first season and then just pretend the rest didn't happen.
Okay, yeah.
And I haven't gone back and rewatched Korra since watching Avatar. Like, if I did, maybe I would like it less, maybe I'd like it more. Who knows?
Yeah, kind of weird how that works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't really have any other shows. So I guess
Yeah.
this is a way shorter section than movies, but
I'm gonna look through my list really quick to see if there's any I missed. Rick and Morty season 5 was bad. I didn't like it. Ghost Stories, the anime, the English dub, very good.
Did you watch that all the way through?
I did. I watched it all the way through. Very fun. The Bad Batch. I was gonna make a video on it just because I felt like I needed to do another follow-up video with the Clone Wars, and then I watched it, and it wasn't bad enough that I felt like it needed a video. But because I was planning on making one, and it didn't happen, obviously. But I kind of wish that I did, because I don't think anyone had, like, I've never talked to anyone that's watched it, and it's not like a mind-blowingly good show, but it's not a mind-blowingly bad show either. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of I don't think I know anyone, like, I don't think I've really heard much about it online.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. And, like, yeah, it is a kid's show, but, I don't know, so was the Clone Wars, and people loved that, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of weird that people aren't talking about it, because there actually is a lot of really good stuff in that show. Like, it does a lot of stuff, I think, better than The Mandalorian, but I don't know. I really don't like The Mandalorian, so...
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta talk about the Boba Fett show. So there's only 2 episodes that are out right now. Episode 1, really boring, not that fun. Episode 2, really cool, lots of fun. Did you see my review that I put up for it on Snapchat?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah, so, like, the second episode has freaking battle trains, it has weirdo magic in it, it has Boba Fett does a bunch of drugs at one point, it literally ends with a huge, like, dance number. It was weird, but it was pretty cool at the same time. So, fun stuff. I have no idea how well the show is going to keep going. And Ming-Na Wen, who I assume is supposed to be a love interest of Boba Fett, I don't know what she's doing, but I can tell you this, that she cannot act, because all of the lines she has delivered have just been, like, coming from a piece of paper. Well, if you won't talk to us, maybe the Rancor will eat you. If you had spoken that way to Jabba, he would have fed you to his menagerie. Like, ugh.
I mean, like, I guess I should assume this from the name, but is she foreign?
She's half foreign. I think she was raised here in the States.
Oh, okay.
But she's the girl that played as Mulan in, like, the cartoon, and I think she was in a couple James Bond. She's in a lot of stuff.
Oh, okay, so she's, like, older.
Yeah, she's older.
Okay.
But, yeah. Her line delivery is astoundingly bad.
Okay. Yep, I have pretty much stayed away from everything Star Wars for the past forever. Since, like, Last Jedi, or not Last Jedi, damn it. Rise of Skywalker. Like, I don't know, I just don't really have any interest in anything new, and I thought about, like, rewatching, the older films. Oh! Damn, I forgot about this. I watched Clone Wars all the way through. For, like, the first time
Clone
ever.
Wars?
Or Attack of the Clones, damn it.
Attack of the Clones. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a long-ass movie. It took so damn long for the clones to finally attack. That is all.
I do not think that movie should be watched in one sitting.
Well, I did it.
Yeah.
There's probably some
That's
drinking
awesome.
involved, but I did it.
Yeah, you'd have to do that.
Yeah, like there's like a new meme this year that came out from this film, and I watched it just in time to be ready for that meme. It's like the one with where Padme and Anakin are on Naboo,
Hmm.
and like she's like smiling in the first
Yeah.
like the first part, and then she's not. I forget like the format for it.
Yeah, I love that meme. I'm trying to remember what some of the good ones are. There's been a lot of good ones.
Yeah, yeah, I can't think of anything specific. It's been so long.
There was one where she's like, "We should get a camera for streaming." He's like, "Yeah, for Twitch, right?" And then, like she just keeps smiling. He's like, "For Twitch, right?" Love it.
Oh no, so much
Mhm.
no. Okay, well, I think that about does it for shows.
Yeah, that wraps up TV shows, I think.
Okay.